At 94 years old, Margaret still wakes up early, pulls open the curtains herself, and walks to the kitchen without reaching for the wall. Her legs carry her like they always have, not fast, not showy, but steady, safe, strong. And when people ask her how she still moves like that, she just smiles and says, "I never stopped feeding my legs." Most people think weak legs are inevitable with age, that one day, without warning, you'll simply have to grab the rail when climbing stairs, that your morning walks will shrink to mailbox trips, that the wobble in your knees and the ache in your calves are just the body's way of saying, enough. But that's not the full truth. The real truth is this: your legs don't just get weaker with time, they get weaker when they're undernourished, and in old age, even the best diets often fall short of one critical task: supplying the essential vitamins your legs quietly depend on. Mobility, after all, isn't just about muscles. It's about bones, nerves, blood flow, tendons, energy, balance. Every step you take is a symphony of biological processes, and each of them requires fuel, the right kind of fuel. That's why in this video, we're walking you through the 6 essential vitamins that help older adults maintain strong, reliable legs, even into their 90s. Each one plays a unique role in muscle support, joint health, circulation, and recovery. And each one, when missing, can quietly drain the strength you once took for granted. We begin with one of the most misunderstood and most powerful nutrients of all: vitamin D. Now, you've probably heard of vitamin D as the sunshine vitamin. And yes, sunlight is still the best natural source. But what most people don't realize is that after 70, your skin becomes less efficient at converting sunlight into usable vitamin D. That means even if you're getting outside, your body might still be running low. And when you're low on vitamin D, your legs are usually the first to tell you. You might feel unsteady when you get out of a chair. You might notice muscle cramps at night, or a dull, aching soreness that lingers after short walks. These aren't just signs of aging. They're warning lights flashing from undernourished muscles and thinning bones. Why? Because vitamin D isn't just about immunity or mood. It's essential for helping your body absorb calcium, the mineral that keeps your bones dense and strong. It also directly supports muscle contraction and coordination. Without it, both your strength and stability begin to fade. That's why older adults with low vitamin D levels are more likely to experience falls and fractures, not just because their bones are brittle, but because their muscles aren't responding fast enough to catch them. So, how do you get more? Sunlight, yes, 15 to 20 minutes a day if possible. But also through diet. Fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, fortified dairy, and eggs all help. Still, for many seniors, it's not enough. That's where a simple daily habit can change everything. Cod liver oil. Just 1 tablespoon a day delivers a powerful dose of vitamin D, along with beneficial omega-3s that fight inflammation, another silent thief of leg strength. Some people even say their leg cramps disappear entirely within weeks of starting it. That heaviness in the knees, that stiffness in the calves, it eases. They move more freely, sleep more soundly, trust their legs again. And that's just the first vitamin. Because right behind vitamin D is another silent giant, vitamin B12. You might not think of it as a leg vitamin, but when it's missing, the symptoms often show up in your legs first, and most dramatically. We'll get into that in the next part. But for now, remember this. If your legs are whispering that something's not right, if they're shaking more, cramping more, tiring faster, don't just chalk it up to aging. Ask instead, what have I been feeding them? Because strong legs aren't just built in the gym. They're nourished, one day, one habit, one nutrient at a time. Margaret once said something simple that stuck with me. The day I couldn't trust my legs was the day I stopped trusting myself. That feeling of suddenly not being sure whether your legs will carry you through a parking lot, down a curb, or even out of bed in the middle of the night, it changes you. It steals confidence in quiet, painful ways. But what if that creeping weakness isn't just the result of age? What if it's a signal, a deficiency, not a destiny? Let's talk about vitamin B12, the second essential vitamin that plays a critical role in keeping your legs strong, steady, and under your command. B12 isn't as talked about as calcium or vitamin D, but ask any geriatric doctor and they'll tell you, this nutrient might be the single most overlooked contributor to unexplained leg weakness in older adults. Why? Because B12 is a nervous system nutrient. And your legs? They don't just rely on muscle. They rely on clean, fast communication from your brain down to your feet. When B12 is low, that communication slows. The signals get fuzzy. The result? Legs that feel heavy, tired, numb, or even tingly, even when you haven't done anything strenuous. And here's the kicker. B12 deficiency is incredibly common after 60. As we age, our stomach's ability to absorb B12 from food declines, especially if you've been on acid reducers or metformin, or follow a low-meat or vegetarian diet. That means even if you eat well, you might still be starving your nerves of what they need to keep you balanced and mobile. Think about this. Have you ever stood up and felt like your legs were a second behind you? Like they didn't quite respond with the snap they used to have? That's not weakness. That's lag in your nervous system. And B12 might be the missing piece. Consider the case of Walter, a 79-year-old man who had always been active. He still walked to the corner store every morning, until one day he realized something strange. His legs felt like they were on delay. He wasn't tripping or falling, but each step felt disconnected. His feet dragged more than they lifted. He dismissed it as just getting older, until his doctor tested his B12 levels. They were dangerously low. Within weeks of supplementing with B12 through simple oral tablets and some high B12 foods, Walter felt his balance return. That foggy sensation in his legs lifted. He didn't just move better, he trusted himself again. So where does B12 come from? Primarily animal products, beef, poultry, fish, eggs and dairy. But for many older adults, diet alone won't cut it. That's where a daily tablespoon of nutritional yeast can be a game changer. Nutritional yeast, often fortified with B12, can be sprinkled on eggs, soup, or blended into smoothies. It's tasty, shelf-stable, and for many seniors, one of the most efficient ways to boost B12 without pills or injections. And what happens when you restore that nutrient? You don't just regain strength, you regain precision, control. That subtle yet crucial ability to navigate curbs, doorframes, stairwells. The very movements that make the difference between independence and fear. Now, it's important to remember, even though leg strength feels like a muscular problem, it's also a neurological one. And B12 is your nervous system's fuel. So if you've been noticing a pins and needles sensation in your calves, a dragging foot that doesn't clear the floor like it used to, fatigue that hits too early in the day, don't just shrug and say it's age. Ask instead, how's my B12? Because your legs aren't giving up. They might just be misfiring. And the right vitamin can help you reconnect what's still there. But muscle coordination is only half the battle. If B12 is the messenger keeping your brain and muscles connected, then vitamin C is the quiet architect, rebuilding the structures that make every step possible. We often think of vitamin C as the cold vitamin, something you reach for when you feel a sniffle coming on. But that barely scratches the surface. In the aging body, vitamin C is less about fighting colds and more about keeping your legs from crumbling under you. Why? Because vitamin C is your body's primary tool for making collagen. Collagen is the protein that holds your joints, tendons, and ligaments together. It's the cushion in your knees, the glide in your hips, and the rebound in your ankles. Without enough vitamin C, your collagen production slows dramatically, and so does your ability to stay upright, comfortable, and mobile. Now imagine trying to walk with rubber bands that have dried out. That's what aging joints feel like when collagen breaks down. They don't just ache, they lose elasticity. You feel stiff in the morning. You hear the grinding in your knees. You wince climbing stairs, not from fatigue, but because your knees can no longer absorb the shock. Take Barbara, 81. A former nurse, she was used to being on her feet. But lately, just bending down to put on her shoes made her knees scream. She chalked it up to wear and tear. Her doctor didn't disagree, but he also asked her one question. How's your vitamin C intake? She hadn't thought about it. Oranges here and there, some tomatoes, but nothing consistent. So, on her doctor's advice, she started a simple habit. 1 tablespoon a day of acerola cherry powder, a natural superfood with one of the highest vitamin C concentrations known. Within weeks, something changed. Not everything. Barbara still had arthritis, but the sharp pain dulled. She had more give in her joints. She walked farther, sat longer, slept better. I don't feel young, she said, but I feel built back up. That's collagen in action, and vitamin C is what makes it possible. There's more. Vitamin C is also a powerful anti-inflammatory. Many older adults silently live with chronic, low-grade inflammation, and they feel it most in their legs. Achy calves, burning hips, knees that puff up for no clear reason. You take ibuprofen, maybe, but that only masks the problem. Vitamin C helps your body do something better. Repair. It neutralizes the oxidative stress that weakens muscle fibers. It reduces swelling. It supports capillary health, helping tiny blood vessels carry nutrients into damaged joints and muscles. In short, it doesn't just help you feel better, it helps you be better. So ask yourself, do your legs feel slow to wake up in the morning? Do your knees feel like rusted hinges on a cold day? Does the idea of kneeling, crouching, or even squatting feel foreign now? Don't just assume that's aging. It might be a deficiency in the very thing your body needs to maintain those movements. And fortunately, it's one of the easiest vitamins to get. Citrus fruits like oranges and lemons are good, yes. But if you want results, you need a daily ritual. That's where acerola cherry powder comes in. Just a tablespoon a day in water or a smoothie gives your body a high dose of naturally occurring vitamin C, without the harsh acidity of tablets. It goes to work immediately, building collagen, fighting inflammation, and restoring function from the inside out. You don't need to feel 25. You just need your legs to say yes when you ask them to move, climb, or stand. And vitamin C helps restore that trust. Next, we move deeper into your bones. Because your muscles and joints can only do so much if your skeleton isn't supporting them properly. And there's one often forgotten vitamin that acts as the body's traffic cop, telling calcium where to go and where not to. Think of your bones as the scaffolding of your body. They don't just hold you up. They determine how confidently you move, how stable you feel, and how safely you age. But there's a silent issue many older adults overlook: calcium misplacement. Yes, you heard that right. Getting enough calcium is important, but where that calcium ends up is what really matters. And that's where vitamin K2 steps in. Without it, all the calcium in the world might be doing more harm than good. Let me explain. Vitamin K2 acts like a traffic cop for calcium. It tells calcium, You go to the bones, and you stay out of the arteries, joints, and soft tissue. Without this guidance, calcium can deposit in all the wrong places, leading to stiff joints, weakened circulation, and brittle bones. And this isn't just theoretical. Consider Mary, 76. She was diligent about her calcium, took her supplements, drank her milk. But her knees kept aching. Her balance was getting worse. And then, a minor fall in the garden. Broken wrist. What went wrong? Turns out, her bones weren't absorbing the calcium. It was settling in her soft tissue instead, causing stiffness and poor flexibility. Her doctor ran tests and found her K2 levels were critically low. That changed everything. She started taking just 1 tablespoon a day of grass-fed ghee, a rich natural source of vitamin K2. Within weeks, her knees felt more fluid. Her posture improved. And over the next year, her bone density began to climb, not just because she added calcium, but because her body finally knew what to do with it. That's the magic of K2. It doesn't build bone alone, but it's the key that unlocks bone health. Here's how it works. Vitamin K2 activates a special protein called osteocalcin. This protein binds calcium to the bone matrix, making bones denser, stronger, and more resistant to fractures. Without K2, osteocalcin stays inactive, so calcium floats around, looking for a home, and sometimes settles in arteries, causing stiffness and cardiovascular risk. It's no coincidence that low K2 levels are associated with both osteoporosis and arterial calcification in seniors. Weak bones, hard arteries, and legs that can no longer carry you the way they used to. You may have seen someone in their 80s with a hunched back, bowed legs, or that slow, shuffling walk. Yes, some of that is aging, but much of it is preventable bone loss, worsened by calcium that's gone rogue. So if your legs feel fragile, if you've been told your bone density is dropping, or if you're on calcium supplements but still feel weak, pause and ask, where is my calcium going? To redirect it, you need vitamin K2. Fermented foods like natto are the highest natural sources, but many older adults struggle with its strong taste. That's why something as simple as a spoonful of grass-fed ghee or butter each day is an ideal alternative. Palatable, bioavailable, and consistent. And the results speak for themselves. Seniors who boost their K2 intake often report better posture, less joint tension, and even a subtle lightness in their legs. Not from weight loss, but from a foundation that feels solid again. Because you can't rebuild a house on crumbling supports. Before we move to the final part of this journey, energy. Because strength is only half the story. You also need stamina. You need legs that not only lift you, but carry you through the day. And there's one mineral your muscles are begging for, often overlooked, quietly essential, and deeply rejuvenating. It's one thing to have strength, but strength without energy is like a car with no gas. It sits there, capable, but unmoving. That's what many older adults describe. Legs that should be strong enough, but feel tired by midday, or suddenly give out after a short walk. Not painful, not injured, just heavy. If that sounds familiar, your body might be missing 2 final essentials, magnesium and vitamin E. Let's start with magnesium, sometimes called the relaxation mineral. Magnesium isn't flashy, but it's working behind the scenes every single second. It helps your muscles contract and release. It allows your nerves to fire properly. It even helps produce ATP, your body's main energy molecule. But here's the problem. As we age, we naturally lose magnesium. And most diets, especially in retirement, don't provide enough to replenish it. The result? Muscles that cramp, legs that twitch, restless nights. that frustrating sense of weakness that comes and goes for no clear reason. I want you to imagine a man named Ed. He's 82, walks every morning, eats well. But every night around 2 a.m., his legs seize up, sudden, sharp cramps in his calves that wake him from sleep. He's tried stretching, drinking more water, but nothing helped. Then one day, his doctor asked, "How much magnesium are you getting?" The answer, barely any. Just 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seeds a day gave him the boost he needed. Within a week, the cramps eased. Within a month, they stopped. And best of all, he felt more awake. Not just in his legs, but in his life. That's magnesium, quietly restoring what your muscles have been missing. Now, let's talk about the final vitamin, one that many people forget, but your legs never do. Vitamin E. If magnesium fuels your muscles, vitamin E keeps the roads open, literally. It's essential for circulation, acting as a natural blood thinner that allows oxygen-rich blood to flow freely to your legs, your feet, and every tired muscle in between. Think of circulation like irrigation. Without it, even the healthiest muscles dry out. They tire faster. They ache. They swell. Vitamin E helps prevent that. It keeps blood vessels flexible. It ensures nutrients get where they need to go. And it fights oxidative stress, the silent cellular wear and tear that builds up over the years. Ever notice your legs feel cold more often now? Or that they swell slightly after sitting too long? Or feel tingly when you wake up? That's not just age. That's poor circulation. And vitamin E may be your simplest solution. 1 tablespoon of wheat germ oil a day, that's it. Rich, natural, and easy to add to your routine. Blend it into smoothies, drizzle it over vegetables, or take it straight, like a daily tonic. Your legs will thank you. And here's the best part. People who begin including more vitamin E in their diet often say the change is quiet but powerful. Their legs feel warmer, lighter, more stable. They walk longer, rest less, and maybe for the first time in years, they stop worrying about their legs. Because their legs are doing what they were always meant to do, carry them through life. Let's take a moment now. You've just learned about 6 key nutrients, 6 small daily habits that can transform your mobility, stability, and quality of life in old age. Vitamin D for strength. B12 for nerve and muscle coordination. C for joint recovery. K2 for bone density and stability. Magnesium for muscle energy and cramp prevention. Vitamin E for deep circulation and endurance. These aren't luxury nutrients. They are foundational. And they are more accessible than you might think. A spoonful of cod liver oil, a sprinkle of nutritional yeast, some acerola cherry powder, grass-fed butter, pumpkin seeds, wheat germ oil. That's it. 6 minutes, 6 spoons, 6 leg-saving decisions a day. Because your legs are more than limbs. They are your freedom. They are your anchor. They are your vote for life, one step at a time. Don't let age steal them. Nourish them. And if you found this video helpful, please let us know in the comments. Share what you'll try first. Your feedback fuels this community, and it helps others see what's possible. Thanks for spending time with us today. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, may your legs stay strong, and your spirit even stronger.